So this is the inside of a tree, in case you ever go into a tree about this big. There are lots of spider webs.
It's the Deku tree.
Well, yes, it's the Dayku tree. And that is a Deeku Baba. And it's going to give you sticks. And this is another Deeku Baba. He's going to give you nuts. And he's going to attack me. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to blame that on the controls because, again, I'm used to the 3DS version. But I know that's also partly my fault.
Right. It does feel... The 3DS does feel smoother than the GameCube for some reason.
Well, of course, because it's the definitive version. Anyway, what I got was Deku nuts, and yeah, throwing them down there is going to stun your opponent. And then here's the Deku stick. So what I did there, that's going to act as a sword. It's going to be in these games, in the original N64 games, they're double the power of the sword you have now, but they break with one hit. And that was another Navee hint because, you know, there's certain points where it's not even just, this is where she's gonna be the most annoying. Because, there are gonna be certain points where she comes up and you have no choice but to listen.
Right.
Like, right here. And you can't make the text go any faster, and
it's still in tutorial mode.
It's still in tutorial mode, so that's why. I mean, like, none of the other games had it because it was pretty basic game design, but I mean, this is just like, there's a lot of new elements here. Okay, so this is the dungeon map. I'm gonna go into the map subscreen, cause, yeah, it's kind of already explaining it already. If it stops. Okay, so, we're going to the maps has changed now to the dungeon map. So these are the different floors. Blue areas are the places we visited. The blue flashing areas is where I am currently. And then here's Navee telling you how to open a door. You can open a door by pushing A. That allows you to touch the knob. Yeah. Depending on which version you're playing, the A button in the GameCube version is green, N64 is blue. So that was the shield. There's two different applications for the shield. When you are in L targeting and you use the shield, you can move around with it. If you just are using the shield outside of L targeting, you get into a crouch. And when you crouch, there's also another move where you can do a stab attack. And there is use to that actually, because I originally thought it was pretty useless, but then, you know, there's been some discoveries with it where the crouch stab is really useful.
Huh.
And, but I'm not going to really get into that until we actually get to the next dungeon because that's where I actually apply it. And so this is the fairy slingshot. This is going to be our ranged weapon. So most of the Zelda games would give you the boomerang within the first dungeon. This one gives you straight up the ranged weapon because the boomerang is in a later dungeon. So now I'm going to apply that to all the C buttons there. And I forgot the controls are inverted there, so I was trying to go up. Because again, 3DS version, much better with the aiming because it's all gyroscope, and there's a wall. It's all the gyroscope stuff, so you can just move your 3DS to give you more precise accuracy. So there's going to be points where I'm going to be missing a lot with the ladders and the slingshot. Because it's such like a sensitive analog versus just the gyroscopes. And with L targeting,
I have no comment.
Yeah, with L targeting here, it's easier. You can go like that and get it pretty good, but pretty well. I mean, but with L targeting, you can pretty much get 100% accuracy as long as the target isn't like moving to the left or right of you. So yeah, climbing this one is pretty straightforward. You just walk right into the wall, and your character automatically climbs. And you're gonna see me fall off again here because oh, maybe not yet. Okay, you're gonna see me fall because yeah, again octagon gate for the stick. I'm just so unused to that. So I'm just gonna adjust the camera here this time, just so I don't mess up. Thankfully, with the first dungeon, it's very forgiving with the timing.
Yeah.
There's actually this game isn't particularly all that hard. But what were you saying?
So if you notice, and most people don't notice this, but the symbols on like the switches and stuff, they reoccur in almost all of the Zelda games.
Well, yeah. What happened? Yeah, there is a design on there. In the early versions of this game, version 1.0 and 1.1, it is going to be a star and crescent moon. This is supposed to be the symbol of the Gyarados, and it was believed that it was changed because of this is Gold Skulltula. This is going to be gold tokens, which is going to have a use later in the game. Anyway, back to that. The Gyarados symbol, it got changed in 1.2, and I think there was a 1.3 version as well. And that changed because there was controversy with the Muslim community. But that wasn't the case because actually, as they found out, all versions of the game were made even before the first one was released. So there's no real reason as to why it changed, but it's changed in the GameCube and the 3DS versions. Alright, and we're back. That wasn't supposed to happen. That's what was supposed to happen.
You go.
Yes, it was supposed to... the web was supposed to break. And, yeah, so there's more gold Skulltulas. There is importance in collecting them. There's only really importance in collecting a certain amount of them. Because there's 100 in the game, and you get rewards for collecting them. But the rewards, after a certain point, aren't really all that useful. Like, there's a certain point where it's like, collecting after that becomes tedious. And speaking of things not happening, not supposed to be happening, there's that. So, that's another one. You can get it with a ranged weapon, but we don't have it yet, so I mean, like, that's just easy enough. There is one where you would have to come back with a later weapon, and I might do that in a separate video because, like, as a appendix video. So yeah, the Deeku sticks can light up, but if you touch them to flame. But if you leave them lit for a certain amount of time, they actually go away. They burn out. You can save them if they're on fire if you unequip them or bring out your sword. So that's one of the first major puzzles of the game. Because, well, I guess there's plenty of puzzles before that, but I mean, this was the first one where it's like, you know, a memory puzzle. Not too hard. And then here's the tutorial on swimming.
As if you haven't been doing that earlier.
I don't think I actually had. I don't think I was actually swimming at any point earlier. So this would be the first time.
First time swimming underwater.
Well, yeah. Ocarina of Time's diving system is really weird because you're not really mobile in there, in the water. You just, go straight down to a number, which means just how deep you can go down before you have to come back up. And, yeah, I'm really, for some reason, screwing up a lot in this part. I don't know why. So, yeah. So anyway.
You're just terrible tonight.
These are recorded about 2 weeks ago. None of this is live, so this is giving me plenty of chance to do post commentary.
You know, the way with the way you were talking, you could have passed it off as live the entire time.
I chose not to do it live because, I mean, I don't want to, there's no reason for me to actually say that I'm doing it live, but anyway, yeah, like, I forgot where I was going with it, so we're just gonna go to the next door, and it's gonna lock behind us, so. This one's pretty straightforward. There's no real big enemies in this game. They're going to give you a bunch of those Deeku babas to replenish your Dayku sticks because you just need to, light the torches to open the door.
Right.
So so I just waited there for a little bit, and when you wait there, no matter whatever weapon you have equipped, you'll put it away after you wait like 2 seconds. Now I'm going to look above and catch a couple eggs here. I'm gonna destroy a couple of them, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save one just to show off what enemy it is. So if you walk under it, it'll then fall down and it'll hatch and fall down, and it's that little thing. It'll try and run away from you for just a moment. I mean, it's nothing threatening. It's just more like, I guess, surprising that there's an enemy suddenly coming from the ceiling.
And that was an ugly looking enemy.
Well, it involves the final boss too, so.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, I remember this part.
Yeah, this dungeon is really quick and really simple because you don't have a lot of items yet, so there's not really a bunch of puzzles yet. So I'm gonna push this block here because I'm gonna need that flame over there, and the block puzzle, because I mean, we were in this room just 5 minutes ago, and this way we don't have to backtrack all the way back. So I'm going to take the stick here, and when you use the stick, if you hit the stick button again, you will swing it like a sword. So that allows you to get the bottom, swing and hit the web to burn it. So this is the part where the Dayku Scrubs puzzle comes in about the numbers. 23 is number 1, so you just bounce them back to him. Oh, and yeah, this is what Navee can do. If you focus on the enemy, she will turn yellow to indicate that it's an enemy, and then if you hit the C up, it will give you a little information on the enemy. Sometimes it'll give a weak point, sometimes just say what to watch out for. And by defeating these 3 Deeku Scrubs, they tell you how to beat the boss, which is like one of the only times. I think this is the only time in the game where you're directly told how to beat the boss. Other than that, you'd have to be told by Navee, which you don't really need. I mean, again, she's useless. The bosses are pretty predictable in their patterns. At least it is me now, because again, I've been playing this game since '98, so. The one thing that is unique about this is the boss isn't going to start until you actually go into first-person mode and look up.
Which is actually really cool when you think about it.
Yeah, so it's one of the only times that you actually need to use first-person mode. Other than that, there's really no use for it. So now, so we got Red Eye there, just stuns her, and what I was trying to do there was the crouch stabbing deal, because that does play a big part. But again, that's not going to be until the next dungeon where I actually use it successfully. So, Z targeting lasts for a pretty long time. The way to disengage it yourself is to go backwards and hit L again, or if the enemy goes out of distance. So I'm going to do here, and hit one more time, and then actually you'll hear Link groan, because he actually took damage as he gave the final blow. So there is actually a way to actually end up dying while giving the final blow. And that's a big part of the glitch that was recently discovered that allowed you to beat the game in like 26 minutes. Because then you could, because you would die and then it would respawn the door that you entered the boss room in, so that would allow you to teleport to Ganon's castle. Because that was what allowed you to beat the game in record time. Other than that, before that it was like an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah, and the glitch is removed in the GameCube version, isn't it?
Well, no. I don't know about that.